Junior, early Bitcoin investor. I'm the founder of Washington Elite. I'm also the CEO of Global Boost. Biggest business that we do right now is capital projects here at the Global Bitcoin investor. I'm the founder of Washington Elite. I'm also the CEO of Global Boost. Biggest business that we do right now is capital raise. We have multiple projects here at the Global Family Office Investment Summit. Well, we've seen a shift of how everything goes. Of course, we've been around and working with Anthony for a long time. And of course, we had crypto and everything, and as it evolved, now really it's AI. I mean, that's what's coming out of this AI, whether it's data centers, whether it's AI workers, whether it's just investing in AI. AI is the topic, and that is what is fueling this next bull run, really. So we've been involved in the Global Family Office Investment Summit for at least, I would say, 5 years. We're honored to be here at the 25th anniversary. We're honored to be a partner. There is probably almost nobody better than Anthony Ritosa at bringing such a high caliber of people together under one roof. And that's why we continue to come back. It's not like you go to some of these huge events and there's thousands and thousands of people. And yes, the ones that you want to talk to may be there, but there's a whole 100, 200 people lined up to get to them. And it doesn't mean it can't work. They work all the time. But what we do here at the Global Family Office Investment Summit is we bring all those people under one roof. And sure, maybe you have to stand in line, but it's only 3 or 4 people. It's not 200 or 300. Hello and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Impact Money Show. I'm your host, Bruce Porter Jr., coming to you live from the heart of Washington, D.C., where the weather is as mild as a politician's promise. 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 0% chance of precipitation, 84% humidity, and a gentle 2-mile-an-hour breeze. That's barely enough to rustle the flags on Capitol Hill. If you're stepping out today, grab a jacket and maybe an umbrella for the humidity, and watch out for any last-minute policy flip-flops blowing in from the Hill. We've got a packed show for you today, and I'm thrilled to be joined by my co-host, my brother from the same mother, the one and only David Porter. David, welcome to the show, man. How's it feel to be back in the hot seat?
Thanks, Bruce. It feels great. Great to be here, ready to break down the money moves, the madness, and the mayhem. Let's get into it. DC's weather might be calm, but the news cycle is in total chaos.
Chaos is right, David. Let's start here local in the DC, in the DMV, as we say. The big buzz around town is the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. And folks, I'm sorry, but this thing is neither big nor beautiful in any ways that matter to you and to your wallet. This piece of legislation, officially the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, passed the House a couple weeks ago and is now staring down the Senate like a kid who forgot his homework. President Trump was out on his Trump Truth platform yesterday defending this thing like it's the Mona Lisa of policy. He's calling it a win, touting tax cut, border security, boost, and more. But here's the ugly truth, folks. Math is math. And this bill is a deficit disaster. David, break it down for us. How does this thing actually hit the American people?
Well, let's do the numbers. The Congressional Budget Office says this bill's tax provision extension of Trump's 2017 cuts, plus new ones for tipped wages and overtime, will balloon the deficit by $3.8 trillion by 2034. That's a trillion with a T. They're trying to offset some of it by slashing Medicaid, food stamps, and clean energy credits, saving about $1 trillion over the same period. But here's the kicker. When the government spends more, it takes in more than it takes in. It's taking you in sneakier ways. Inflation goes up, prices climb, and your dollar buys less at the grocery store. So you might see a tax cut on paper, but the real tax, it's hidden in the cost of milk, gas, rent, spending more, taxing more. It's that simple.
Exactly. This is what I've been telling everybody. And here's the sad part. Trump himself grumbled about the spending levels in this bill. He's called it out and then turned around and defended it yesterday like it's the magnum opus. Look, I get it. People want to believe in the guy. They want the tax cuts, the border wall, the whole package. But when your own leader admits that spending is out of control and then tries to sell you the big, beautiful fantasy, it's hard not to feel like you're being fed a line. The American people deserve better. They deserve the truth. You can't spend like a sailor on shore, leave, and pretend the bill won't come due. David, what's your take? Is this just politics as usual?
This is politics on steroids, Bruce. Trump's pushing this hard, saying it'll boost growth to cover the cuts, but the math ain't mathing. Fiscal conservatives in the Senate, like Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, are already waving the red flags, saying this explodes the debt. And get this, the House barely got it through with a delicate balance, as Speaker Mike Johnson called it. Now the Senate's got to wrestle with it. And I'm not holding my breath for a miracle. It's a mess, and your wallet's the one taking the hit.
A mess indeed. And speaking of messes, let's talk about our pal Elon Musk. The man been a whirlwind heading up the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, or Doggy for short. And yes, we all love the crypto nod. Elon's been swing. I thought we were going to $1, man. I thought we were going to $1. I still think we are. Elon's been swinging the axe, trying to chop federal spending, fire inefficient workers, and shrink the bureaucracy. He's been at it for 130 days as a special government employee, and now he's stepping back. But here's the crazy part, David. Congress isn't biting. They're balking at nearly all of his cuts. Elon's out there saying the big, beautiful bill undermines everything Doge is trying to do. Adding 3.8 trillion with the T, trillion, to the deficit is the opposite of efficiency. What's your read, bro?
Well, Elon's fighting the good fight, Bruce, but it's like bringing a Tesla into a tank battle. He pushed for billions in cuts, 170 billion this year alone, by some estimates, but Congress is like, nah, we're good. The White House is talking about sending a recession package to codify some of Doge's trims, but GOP lawmakers are saying it's tough to sell. You can't touch Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, or defense. Those are the budget's big dogs. Elon told CBS he's disappointed with this bill. And I get it. He's trying to save us money, and Congress is out here spending like it's Black Friday. It's nuts, man.
It is nuts. And that recessions package, that has about as much chance of passing as I don't know what. I mean, it's zero, folks. It's zero. Oh, we're going to do a recessions package, and that's when we're going to do all this stuff. And it's just total baloney. I can't even really, it's just, I don't even hardly know what to say about it. It's completely nuts. And props to Elon for calling it like he sees it. He even said, I think the bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't think it can be both. Classic Elon. Straight talk with a side of sass. He's wrapping up his official role, but Trump says Musk will always be with us, helping all the way. I hope so, because we need someone out there fighting the bloat and really, talking like real talk, like no matter, okay, I really want this bill to go because of this, that, and the other, not just tell us it's big and it's beautiful just because. Meanwhile, Trump's been busy, folks. He's in the Oval Office praising Tesla, showing off the red Model S in the White House driveway. Maybe he's hinting at a purchase. But the big question, David, is tariffs. Trump's reciprocal tariffs got a boost from the federal appeals court last week, reinstating 10% levy on imports. Are these working, or are they just stirring the global trade pot?
Well, it's a mixed bag, Bruce. The idea was to weaken the dollar, boost exports. It's a classic Trump playbook. But the courts flip-flop, striking them down, then reinstating them has markets on edge. Capital Economics says the average tariff rate could have dropped from 15% to 6.5% without them, but now they're back and it's chaos. Stocks and bonds are jittery and foreign investors are cooling on the dollar, per the Dutch bank. The US dollar index, the DXY, is up slightly today at 98.94. a 0.24% bump, but it's been nearly 3-year low. Tariffs might help exports long-term, but short-term inflation creeping and consumers are paying. What do you think, Bruce?
I think it's a gamble, David. Tariffs sound tough, but when prices rise, it's your grocery bill, your car parts, your everything that hurts. I mean, I want to replace the engine on one of the cars here, and the price of the engine has gone up so much. It's crazy. And speaking of global chaos, let's swing over to Putin and Russia. The Ukraine war is heating up. Moscow just unleashed one of its biggest drone attacks yet, right before Trump was set to chat with Putin and Ukraine's Zelensky about the ceasefire. It's awfully quiet on the Russian side, David. No big statements, no counter moves. Are we in for something big, an escalation, a surprise deal? What's your gut telling you?
Yeah, I mean, Russia's silence is eerie. Usually Putin's got the propaganda flying, flying faster than drones. This attack was massive, and with Trump pushing for a ceasefire, maybe they're playing coy, gearing up for a big move. Could be more strikes, could be a negotiation tactic. I'd say buckle up. When Russia goes quiet, not sure.
Agreed, David. Silence from Moscow is like the calm before the storm. It just feels eerie. Keep your eyes peeled, folks. This could be shift really fast. Now let's pivot to tech. AI and robotics are buzzing. In AI news, we're seeing breakthroughs in natural language models. Think chatbots, but that sound even more human. Helping businesses, healthcare, you name it. Robotics is wild too. Companies like Horizon Robotics are down 5.94% in Asia today, but the field's hot with automated factories and self-driving tech and life longevity. Scientists are tweaking genes, pushing lifespans with trials showing promise in mice. Humans are next. And cancer cures. David, big news here. New immunotherapy trials are shrinking tumors with some patients in remission. Exciting stuff. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's mind-blowing, Bruce. AI is making life easier with robotics and taking jobs and creating them. It's longevity in the research. I might live to 150. I might beat you, Bruce. The cancer news is huge. Immunotherapy is a game changer, giving hope to millions. But let's not ignore weapons. Defense spending is up in Trump's bill, and we're seeing laser tech and drones advancing fast. It's cool, but scary. Getting high tech, what's your angle?
Well, it's a double-edged sword, David. Tech saves lives, but weapons tech, it's a race we can't slow down. Now, we have to address the heartbeat in the Middle East, the ongoing crisis. Let's call it what it is, folks. It is a genocide of Palestinians by Israel. It's gut-wrenching. Just today, 23 more Palestinians were killed while waiting in line for food. Food, people. This isn't war, it's a slaughter. The death toll continues to climb. The world watches. A two-state solution has been dangled for decades. Peace, land, dignity for both sides. But when will it happen? David, it's time to end this genocidal chapter in history. Is your heart in on this one?
It's devastating. I mean, killing people in the food line doesn't make sense. That's inhumane, and it's the worst. The two-state solution, Israel and Palestine coexisting, feels like a pipe dream when violence rules. The U.S. has sway, but Trump's focus is border walls and tariffs, not this. We need global pressure, a real push for peace. It's times, like you said, to close this tragic. It's time, like you said, to close this tragic chapter.
Well, I couldn't agree more, David. It's time for action, not words. The world can't look away. Now let's wrap up with the markets. Your money matters, folks. The U.S. dollar, the DXY, is at 98.94, a 0.24% gain. U.S. stock futures a bit shaky. Dow futures at 42,194, down 180 points at a 0.42% dip with an implied open of negative 169. The S&P 500 futures at 59.20, down 26.50 or 0.45, implied open at negative 24.42. NASDAQ futures at 21,446, down 88.25, a 0.41% slide, implied open at negative 82.83. Asia is mostly up. The stocks in Asia are mostly up. Hong Kong Stock Exchange at 23,512, up 354.52. It's a 1.53% jump. The U.S. dollars ticking up on the Japanese yen, 142.86. That's a 0.12% gain. Precious metals, gold's down to 33.84 at a $12.4 drop, or 0.37%. Silver's at 34.42, down 0.28 or 80%, 0.80%. Oil's up though, 62.82 at a 0.48% rise, up 30 cents. Crypto is hot. Bitcoin in at 105. 194 at the moment, up about 23%, 0.23%. Ethereum's rocking. 4.88% up to 2605. XRP's up at 1.58% to 219. Solana's climbing 3.16% at 158.98. Dogecoin, the doggy coin, one of my favorites, up 1.8% to 19 cents. 19.4 cents. Toncoin's at $3.21, up 2.85%, and Litecoin's up 0.8% at 89.57. Phew, folks, that's the morning rundown. David, any last words before we dive deeper?
Just this, Bruce, stay sharp, watch your wallet, and let's hope for sanity in DC and peace worldwide. It's great to be here, man.
Love it, David. Folks, stick with the Impact Money Show. We're breaking down the bills, the bucks, and the battles. We have now with us our Market Watch report from the great Matt Dixon. I'll cue it up here. Matt is in a meeting, so he recorded it for us. Good old Matt Dixon here. The great Matt Dixon. Matt, we've been working with Matt. Remember when we met Matt there in Dubai?
I do.
We flew over there. It was a lot of fun.
And we are live here at the Global Family Office Investment Summit at the beautiful Mandan.
Wait, that's the wrong one. Ha! Hold on a second, folks. I'm going to play that video later. Here's the one I want. He sent it to me in a zipped file, so that threw me off. Here we go. Boom. Boom.
Good morning, Bruce. Morning, Impact Money viewers. I just wanted to touch, first of all, on something we mentioned yesterday. I was wondering why the oil price, let me just click over to oil. I was wondering why the oil price had moved. Surprisingly, actually, we got an increase yesterday. They had an OPEC meeting, and they got an increase in production of 411,000 barrels per day from July. And that's actually following the same size increases that we had in output in both May and June. So oil output is increasing, and surprisingly, that caused an increase in the price of oil. Now, it's all about expectations. It may be people were expecting a larger increase in production, or it could have just been some sort of buy the rumor, sell the news event. I'm not quite sure, but it's not been a convincing push higher in the price. I mean, clearly the recent low price was $55. We're currently $62 at the moment, and we can see we're in a bit of a consolidation from back in early April, 9th of April. We've been moving pretty much sideways, and there's no real, we may push just a little bit higher, but I think actually the trend is still downwards. So I think there are a lot of people also been overproducing, a lot of OPEC countries and non-OPEC, but I suppose non-OPEC can, but OPEC countries were actually overproducing. So I guess this increase dampens the effect that over increase has. I'm not quite sure, to be fair. But I just know from a chart perspective, this is looking a little bit bearish. It looks like a bear flag to me, where we've got a flagpole downwards, which is an impulsive direction. And then we're getting this consolidation sideways here, as I say, from 9th of April, consolidation, and I expect a further push down. So I do think there's a real chance that we're going to push towards the $40 a barrel. And I think that could be a sign of economies around the world slowing. And speaking of economies slowing, I'm just going to jump to my X feed just to show you what I just posted there. Let me just jump on that one. So interestingly, let's just see, we've got Australia. We had company profits. This was data came out yesterday, I think, or maybe earlier today. Company profits are declining in Australia. At the same time, in China, we have manufacturing PMI actually decreasing now. When it's below 50, it means it's decreasing. And we also had Swiss inflation turning negative. So we have actual deflation now in Switzerland. So this is a sign that the Trump tariffs are beginning to bite around the world. And it was actually around June that we expect these tariffs to begin to bite, have the data start to filter through and show weaker. So we'll be watching with anticipation to see what the US figures come out at in the coming days and weeks. And we're expecting to start to see a slowdown. So that may soften interest rate expectations. Whether they will actually drop rates, who knows? But if it softens expectations, it's probably going to be supportive of markets around the world. Stock markets, risk asset markets, S&P 500, Bitcoin, etc. So that would be supportive. Now I'm just going to jump straight back to Bitcoin. It's quite interesting. I've just put some labels on here from the top here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not necessarily going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I wanted to show you what my thinking was yesterday. These are daily candlesticks. So yesterday was the previous one to this red one today. It's the one here. Now, yesterday during the show, this was a large red candlestick, and I said, we need to break below this dotted line to confirm that this is actually a 5-wave move. And interestingly, we got almost there, but we didn't. The price reversed back up quite sharply at the end of the day. And so we're still actually in no man's land here, undecided territory. So from the top, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason I know it's, currently I can count it as that. Not that I know, but I can count it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Is because according to Elliott wave rules, this wave 4 is not allowed to cross into territory of wave 1. So if I just hover over this wave 1 candle, the lowest candle here for wave 1, you can probably see up here that the lowest price, and I'll just hover again, you see the low price for wave 1 now was 106,666. And then the high price for wave 4 was the high price 106,564. So in other words, the top of this wave 4 is below the bottom of this wave 1. So that just means that none of the rules have been broken. It's still currently a valid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count. So again, we're watching this very carefully to see, first of all, either whether it breaks into territory of wave 1, and if it does, that is confirmed then just as an ABC down, it's corrective, and we will then push higher. But if we push down below this dotted line, and that can still happen today, if that happens, then it will be confirmed as, first of all, a 5-wave move down, which is a small impulse down. It can still be part of a larger correction, but it would tell us that even if we get a 3-wave move back higher, we will get a further push down. So it's really interesting and informative to actually analyze a close inspection of the waves and the prices, where they are, whether they're crossing over, etc. It tells you an awful lot about where prices are going. So this is actually still, as I say, undecided right now. So I'm watching very, very closely to see whether we break that wave 1 territory there, or whether we break this bottom of wave 3 territory here. That will tell me where to go on my trades, whether to go long or whether to go short. So that's actually Elliott waves informing my trades there. And then I'll look at other indicators as well to give me some better indications. I mean, just one little thing I'm just noticing straight away here, by the way, and I'll just draw it in. We've got some divergence in place. So we can see from looking below, we can see that the troughs, we've got higher lows on the price, and looking at corresponding, and normally we'll see RSI looking using from above, but here we're looking at below, but you can still use it in this way. So it's quite an interesting little lesson on how to measure divergence here. So we've got higher lows on price, and we've got lower lows on corresponding RSI. Now that's actually what's called hidden bullish divergence. This is hidden bullish divergence, and it's telling you that prices are likely to actually push higher. So sort of it's not clear. It's not an absolutely decisive indicator, but it's interesting just as an indication. When you're looking at this, they're all like bits of circumstantial evidence around a crime, as it were. And the more evidence you have, the more likely you are to be right. So this is just one piece of circumstantial evidence telling us that this bit of evidence is telling us that price is likely to push a bit higher. If that were the case, this is not one, two, three. This would actually be ABC, completed little correction down, and we push up again in the next impulsive wave. So it tells us quite a lot potentially about where prices are going. But as I say, right now, I'm absolutely unconvinced because it's in a very narrow range here, a bit of a consolidation, very narrow range between potentially wave one or A and wave three or C. So impossible to tell right now. So I'm keeping my powder dry. I know Bruce is a little bit more adventurous. I'm a very cautious trader after all the years. Sometimes you get burnt, sometimes you don't. I prefer to be reasonably cautious. And I'll often stay out of trades just to wait for clarification. It does mean that I miss out on some really nice juicy trades sometimes, but it does mean that I avoid some losses as well. And it just depends on your risk appetite, I suppose. Ethereum had a reasonably good day, but again, it hasn't changed much from yesterday. We talked about this consolidation. We had the impulsive move higher on the Petra upgrade, massive move higher on Ethereum. Right now, it's really consolidating sideways. We can see from that peak there, it's really moved sideways. That is pure consolidation, and it's actually likely that we will most probably push higher again. So like I gave that little bit of evidence there on Bitcoin, telling you about some divergence there, some hidden bullish divergence. Here we have a different kind of evidence where we basically have a bit of a bull flag, which is telling us a potential to push perhaps a little bit higher. But it could be a final little push in this particular cycle for Ethereum. So maybe we have some kind of leading diagonal wave one, wave two, impulsive, powerful wave three, choppy sideways wave four, and then a final wave five. In this cycle, then we get some kind of correction down. But hopefully we've broken the back of this long-term downtrend now. That if we scroll out a little bit, we'd see, but basically it's been quite a long-term downtrend with numerous consolidations along the way as we move down, consolidate, down, consolidate, down, consolidate, down, consolidate, and then breakout to the upside with the Petra upgrade. Now consolidation, maybe another push higher. Then we would get a bit of a correction down, probably an ABC form correction down, possibly before another move higher. So as I say, I think we've broken the back of this corrective move down, and we've begun to move to the upside, which is quite positive. Again, even Litecoin, we've seen some bit of positivity. This looks to me somehow like an ABC kind of move. So I am still expecting, a bit like the rest, probably a little bit higher in the short term. A lot will depend on data coming out, I think, from America in coming sessions. But so far, the data has been reasonably robust out of the US. So we've not seen any negative effects or any real negative effects yet of Trump tariffs. But as we've said all along, it will take quite some time to filter through. All of the figures that you see, like inflation figures, PMI, all the basically the data points that you see, growth figures, manufacturing figures, you see out of the US, they're backward looking. So they're measuring what has already passed. And so when you're looking at the effect of tariffs, the measurements of the past basically were looking before the effect of tariffs. We're now moving into territory of where the tariffs have actually potentially taken effect. And the talk is that they have slowed the economy. There's a lot more goods staying on the shelves because prices are pushing higher. And that's actually the effect of tariffs. Obviously, you're adding to the price. So it will slow the economy somewhat. And this is why I think Trump was asking, begging, cajoling Fed Chair Powell to try to reduce rates, because Trump may be, I mean, one of the problems with the Fed is they're also looking backwards. They look at data. They're so often saying they're data dependent, which means they're looking at data which is in the rear view mirror. They're trying to drive forward looking in the rear view mirror, and that's just the way they do things. And in a way, it's logical. They have to react to data. But Trump is saying, I think he knows the tariffs are going to slow the economy. So he's saying, we want lower interest rates now. And in some way, Trump may well be right, that if we are going to see prices rising, economy slowing, well, certainly I would say if we're going to see economy slowing anyway, he wants lower interest rates to counter that effect. So that lower interest rates, of course, stimulate the economy, So that's what he's looking for. And that's why Trump has been calling loudly for lower interest rates. And Powell has been ignoring that call because the data at the moment just doesn't show that, doesn't allow for that. Again, we mentioned yesterday with Solana, and it's almost the same story that we have in Bitcoin here. From the top, we've got a 1, 2, 3, potentially 4. So it's either ABC or 1, 2, 3. So we can't tell at the moment, and we need to wait whether we break lower to give us 5 waves or whether we break above. Potentially it's up here actually, above a wave 1 here. Quite a bit potentially higher to go up to 170 there before we confirm a break of that. So a bit of a wider range than Bitcoin. I suppose percentage-wise, it's probably similar actually. But again, a little bit of uncertainty there, a bit of no man's land that we're in. So I will wait for confirmation either way before me potentially taking a position. And as we went through yesterday, we've got exactly the same story really across the board, and it shows the high correlation across crypto, even though Bitcoin is leading the way and has been leading the way. And at some point, as we mentioned yesterday, if Bitcoin really rallies, we'll get that alt season where the alts really wake up and overtake Bitcoin in percentage gains. For the time being, Bitcoin's a leader, but the rest are still following to some extent. And we can see the same sorts of chart patterns wherever we're looking, really. So this movement up at the moment from the bottom here is clearly not impulsive. Even this movement down here overlapped this movement up here, and this movement down here has overlapped this movement up here. So there's all overlap. So at the moment, even if we do push higher, and it's highly likely we will push a little bit higher, it looks to me to be corrective. So whilst we'll probably push to new all-time highs in the not too distant future, I think we probably will on Bitcoin. Other cryptos will follow suit in terms of direction, but not in terms of magnitude. We're not going to see all-time highs for a lot of the altcoins at the moment. It's only if Bitcoin is really convincingly pushing to massive new all-time highs that we'll begin to have any chance of an alt season. So there's no signs just yet of alt season. We can't even see any green shoots of spring just yet. But we watch Bitcoin very carefully because that's going to be the leader. So here's the oil price that we mentioned again, just very briefly. As I say, they had a big increase in 411,000 barrels increase in production. That's per month, daily, and that's starting from July. So quite a big increase, but surprisingly, oil price has increased. Looking at the SPX, S&P 500, still in the same boat as yesterday. We've got 3 waves down and 3 waves up at the moment. So we can break through the all-time high, and if we do and convincingly break it, then yeah, we're headed quite a bit higher. But at the moment, potentially, it's 3 waves down, 3 waves up. And following 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, you'd then possibly get 5 waves down. That would form what's called a flat correction in the form of 3, 3, 5. 3 waves, 3 waves, 5 waves. So ABC for 3, ABC for 3, and then a powerful 5-wave move. So there's potential for a little bit higher. We can challenge, even go maybe a little bit beyond this previous all-time high to still be in this ABC formation. But then there is a real risk of a further 5-wave move down. But if it is a 335, it's just a correction, which means the impulsive direction is still to the upside. So even if we do move downwards, it would be an amazing opportunity to top up, fill your bags on the S&P here. So as I say, if we're confirmed as 3, 3, and then 5 down, that would be a very clear and amazing opportunity to basically gain exposure at lower levels. And I'm always really keen on basically buying dips in the market. So that's what I'll be looking for. We've seen now that dollar index for the time being is a little bit stuck. We appear to have 3 waves up, and at the moment potentially 3 waves down. So we could get another little push up on dollar index before we push down again. So once again, a little bit of uncertainty here with dollar index, but long term, we looked yesterday at some long-term pictures of dollar index. So long term, we actually have seen since the beginning of Bitcoin in 2009, we've seen Bitcoin appreciate and dollar index appreciate, but shorter term, we've seen an inverse correlation. So when we see weaker dollar, we see stronger Bitcoin and vice versa. So it's very, very important, I think, looking at these short-term views here, very, very important to identify where the US dollar is going. At the moment, it does look as though potentially we've got ABC down, ABC up and ABC down. So potentially in opposite to S&P 500 where we had 3 down, 3 up. Here we've got 3 up, 3 down, and expect possibly to be followed by 5 up. So we may get a little bit more dollar strength in coming days. Let's see. As I say, this is for me is one of the main indicators that I would use to be taking trades. We've seen consistent dollar weakness, yen strength, and it just depends so much on the reasons for the yen strength. When there's a real risk in the market and people, real panic in the market, then people will pile back into the yen and dollar yen pushes lower. At the moment, this has actually more been driven by dollar weakness than yen strength. Although there has been some buying of yen because yen, the Japanese are looking to raise interest rates to counter inflation, whereas, as we just mentioned, the US are actually looking to lower rates. In fact, most of the world are looking to lower rates, but the Japanese have been raising rates. Basically, the opposite of what everybody else in the world is doing. And that's because Japan are very serious about fighting inflation. They have had some inflationary pressures, and so they've raised interest rates. And the likelihood is they could be raising more in the future. So we could see more yen strength. But this isn't, at the moment, a response to risk averseness in the market or elevated risk. This is just a response to interest rate differentials between Japan and the rest of the world. And again, this is pretty much the same picture as yesterday. If we were to go through all of the tokens, today we're pretty well flat, as you can see, across the board. But that's to be expected because all these are consolidations, really. We're not seeing any powerful movement in either direction. And it's waiting for things to resolve, waiting for data to come out, the effect of Trump tariffs, waiting for the US dollar to make itself clear which way the US dollar is going. And as I say, we're very much in two-way or no man's land, really, with the main crypto, which is Bitcoin there. So I think that's pretty much it for today. We'll just have a quick look at the euro, see where the euro is going again. Sideways consolidation at the moment. We've had a downward move, an upward move, but nothing decisive in either particular direction. So again, nothing really to show there. And looking at the memes, they're all pretty well flat. So today is a flat day. I did say yesterday, actually, that just going back to Bitcoin very briefly, I said that though we started negative, as we did here, this was a big red candle. I said Monday is often a day which goes opposite to the rest of the week. So I'm hoping, and I'm hoping that we might just push a little bit higher with Bitcoin, and the rest will probably follow now for the rest of the week. But it will be a little bit data dependent. So I hope that's good for today. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you have any particular requests, any particular currencies, any particular questions on economics or anything of that sort, please drop them through to Bruce. I'll be very happy to cover them in the next show. So again, thank you for listening and bye for now.
Great, Matt Dixon with the Market Watch Report, world-class analysis that we give on the show daily here on the Impact Money Show. I have with me here queued up, of course, we are doing the Monaco event, the Global Family Office Investment Summit. I led with a little promo video for the Global Family Office at the beginning of the show. And we are doing the Monaco event, June 26th, 27th in beautiful Monaco. We'll be there in the south of France for a little while. And really looking forward to it. I have with me here an interview that we did with Jonathan Law at the Global Family Office event in Dubai. Check it out.
Oriole, blah, 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 blah. Mandarin. And we are live here at the Global Family Office Investment Summit at the beautiful Mandarin Oriole, blah, 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 blah. Mandarin Oriental Hotel in downtown Dubai. Absolutely amazing day. Another sunny day as they have it here in Dubai. I have with me here Jonathan Lowe. He's with Tap. Tell me, Jonathan, a little bit about yourself and what brought you here to the Global Family Office Investment Summit.
Thanks for having me, man. Basically, I run a company. I founded and started a company 3 years ago. We provide crypto debit card white labels all over the world. And also, right now, we have evolved to now, we are actually now building, or already built, the world's first omni bank, which is crypto bank, digital bank, physical traditional bank, crypto exchange, and crypto cards all in one. Just imagine like the Airbnb for banking.
Yeah.
We connect individual users or companies who have banking needs to full banking solutions all over the world through our multiple banks that we are already integrated with.
I mean, it's pretty cool, man. So you feel like the smartest guy around a lot?
No, there's so many smart people all around.
It's true. There is so many smart people. There's a lot of really nice people here. That's one thing, hats off to Anthony Rotosa for putting all of us together. It's kind of like herding cats, like to bring it all. Now, what you have, though, is a very interesting solution, I think, for a lot of people who watch our show, whether they're in crypto business or other types of business. They want a white label, a payment solution. Talk a little bit more about that. And it's working now, right? Everything's working.
It's been working for a while.
So I'm a crypto company, and I have a crypto coin. What are you telling me? Is there a package that I get? What are, do I give it to all my users? Do they have to pay something? Break it down a little bit for us.
Okay, so basically, for example, let's say your example, if you're a crypto company, we have white labels for crypto cards.
Yep.
Virtual cards, physical cards, or even cards with bank accounts.
Yep.
Different bank accounts all over the world. So basically, you as a company would want to white label your own banking solution where you can then issue crypto cards or banking accounts where people can spend your tokens. They can spend their normal tokens, they can spend your tokens. Essentially, that's the key, right? You build your own token project, you want more utility for your token, you want your community to be able to use that token in real life. Yeah, that is the thing that a lot of projects totally forget, right?
And then they wonder why people sell. What else are you supposed to do with the token?
Exactly. But what if you can keep the token and you can actually spend it in a restaurant, you can spend it on a date?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you can do. So that's really cool.
I will say that not spending crypto, though, can work out sometimes too, because it goes up so high. But no, you have to be able to use it. That's what I've said all these years, right? Yeah, if you're not able to use it, then okay, it's meant to be used.
So that's the key, actually, not for the current crypto users to be happy.
Right.
The key is actually for new people to understand, so crypto can be used, because there's still so many people in the world that thinks crypto is a scam, right? Which is so funny.
It is so funny. They're like, oh, Bitcoin, nothing's backing it. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. It's $89,000. Have you looked at it? What do you mean nothing's backing it? There's a lot of things backing it.
What's backing the US dollar? Nobody knows.
Well, don't even get me started. Yeah, well, I mean, we talk about it on the show quite a bit. The fiat system it's a failing system. I thought for years everything would crash, but the central bankers are very smart guys. They don't want the fiat currency to crash. If it crashes, they lose their way that they can tax everybody without, doing anything. So you have relationships with the banks already. Can you mention some of the banks that you have relationships with, or?
Maybe not the name of the banks, but the countries. So basically, we have banks from Laos, Hong Kong. We are talking to Malta, Canada, Australia, and many more. Mm-hmm. Because essentially, the only way to actually have access to people from all over the world is not for us to be a bank and acquire banking licenses. It's going to be too expensive. It's going to take too long.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone is trying to do that, and it's a race. Yeah. Right. So why not build an ecosystem where we integrate different banks, so all different banks become our friends, right? So that's actually the ecosystem that we want to build. Crypto cards will be our friend, exchanges will be our friend, banks will be our friend. Because why? What do banks want? Customers. What do customers want? Banks, right? So we just connect them. Yeah, that's what we do.
Cool. Do you have one of the cards? Can we see it?
We do actually.
Oh yeah.
So this is one of our cards. It's the premium VIP.
This is the premium VIP. I'll just show you this side, obviously. Cool, man. That feels pretty legit. Yeah, and so it works.
It's been working for quite a while now. Basically, our app also allows you to load your crypto. It has a self-custody wallet, and then you can load your virtual card, which is Google Pay, Apple Pay, and then you can load your offshore bank account too.
Yeah.
You can deposit in fiat, transfer in fiat, and then withdraw in crypto, spend in crypto, always. So basically, we want it to be a one-stop shop.
Yep.
For everything.
I mean, it seems like a pretty easy sell, I guess, if the price is right. Are you onboarding a lot of projects?
Yeah, we recently onboarded quite a lot of projects. Like for example, companies in network marketing, companies that are in iGaming, companies that are in forex companies. Apart from crypto, of course, majority of our users are in crypto.
Yeah.
But we realized that crypto cards are just a band-aid solution of the problem.
Right.
Everybody is actually using crypto cards because they have problems with their banks accepting crypto.
Right.
That's why they move out. But what if we created a solution where we provide the banking solution for them?
Right.
And then crypto card becomes one of the options that they need.
Yep.
Plus banking, because a lot of people use Revolut, use Wise, because they need it in their everyday life. So imagine cross remittance to their families, being able to deposit or withdraw or even spend to buy a house or car, everything in one.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too. You mentioned the MLM. This is also a way you can make payments, right? Everybody gets a card, and you can pay everybody. So, all right. Well, it's pretty amazing. And we talked yesterday. We met yesterday. You told me about it. I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty cool. So I appreciate you coming on. What's the website, social media? How do people find you?
You can search my name, Jonathan Low, JONATHAN space LOW, or even search our website, BIPTAP.com. Borderless Instant Payment. Tap the sound of your card.com. Basically, we have everything there.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
See you soon. Hey, Randy, I got another home run for us, man. This 2-bit exchange is absolutely amazing.
Hey, Bruce, what's up, man? Yeah, why don't you tell me about that 2-bit exchange?
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to be able to list our coins that we want that we support, and they're going to be on this amazing derivatives platform. It's absolutely awesome.
Derivatives? I love derivatives. I can't wait to be on the trade copy program.
So what I want you to do is set up an account and then send me your UID, and let's set you up with a trade copy system, and you just let it run. Copy our trades. That's it. Easy peasy.
So you want me to open an account, send you my user ID, and you hook me up with the trade copy system. I can't wait. Sounds spectacular.
Hey, Matt. Hey, listen, I met with the guys at 2-Bit Exchange while I was in Dubai, and this platform really looks amazing.
Yeah, hi Bruce. Yeah, thank you again for that heads up. I mean, I've looked into this 2-bit platform. It does appear to have everything we're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. 2-Bit, TOOBIT. They have great liquidity. They have futures platform. There's a lot of functionality that I think you're going to like on there. And they really want to work with us. They want to work with the Impact Money Show. And as you and I both know, if they have a good product and they want to work with us, well, hey, that's half the battle.
I mean, basically, I love that copy trade facility. I love the features on the platform. It's basically very simple to use.
Our viewers only need to set it up to copy our trades, and they just do all the trades that we do. Makes it really easy for people to participate. I think they're going to love it. I'm pretty excited about it.
And yeah, it's definitely going to benefit people. I mean, obviously with all the years of experience that we can pack into it, and people can basically benefit from that. Yeah, I definitely think it's a goer.
Hey, David. Yeah, man, I'm excited about it too. I mean, when you think of the ways that we can help our viewers earn money and be able to participate in the monetary revolution, this 2-bit platform just opens up all kinds of doors that they don't have right now.
Hey, Bruce, I'm checking out this platform. It's revolutionary.
That's absolutely correct. And the futures platform is amazing. Great liquidity. And the copy trader program, people are going to be able to make the trades exactly when we make them and make the money that we make. It's a win-win for everybody.
Open for U.S. customers, and you can deposit money with the credit or debit card. Doesn't get better than this.
Beautiful. And what do you think we should use as a referral code?
I think we should use Impact Money. That's the one. Impact Money.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.